Okay, thank God. But the first thing that sort of happened is someone said someone's taking a shit at EVO. So there you go. That's how we open up the podcast. So, well, hello, everyone. My name is Renegade Operative, and we are doing yet another Buster Wolf EVO 2024 has passed. And we're talking about all the post-EVO information and stuff we missed. I'm going to open up the panel. First, we have Rat.
Play Third Strike. It's a good game.
Next we have Nikki, who actually went to EVO and actually smelled the biohazard that was on the show floor. So introduce yourself.
Yo, hi everyone, Nikki here. Yes, I did go to EVO, and yeah, it was pretty bad. Like, we were all saying on Twitter, like, please bring deodorant, and I brought deodorant, I brought Lumi, I brought baby powder. None of yous came to me for any extra deodorant or extra mouthwash or extra Listerine strips. So that's on yous. Dirtballs.
Next up is Andre.
Howdy, this is Andre BVM. Yeah, EVO was a lot of crazy stuff happened this week. Definitely excited to talk about it. Also, Punk the GOAT. Shouts to Punk. Taking the crown in Street Fighter 6.
That was probably the hypest match ever. It was so neck and neck. I was like glued to my chair. I was like, who's gonna win? Punk or the other guy? But I was just like, oh, he wins. So he finally got his victory after like years upon years. And last but not least is Kaneki.
USA, USA, USA.
As he celebrates the USA because, you know, we got that W and, well, Japan got knocked out. So better luck next time.
We didn't even eliminate them this time. I forgot what was the other country, that guy that fought Punk. It wasn't from Japan. They got eliminated beforehand. The what?
The Emirates. The UAE.
Yeah, I think it was
the
UAE, and then
Emirates.
I think Ending Walker was from England, and then I think there was a Chinese player also.
There was Momochi and Nemo. They represented Japan. They were there.
Yeah. We're saying other than Japan, I think.
Yeah.
All right, and we're gonna start this thing with the first question. So number one is Capcom has officially announced an MVC collection, and this happened like in between our last podcast, which is probably the most hype thing ever because
Before EVO even happened.
Yeah, before EVO even happened. What are your thoughts on all the games included and how this brought the hype back to Marvel? And I will let Rat go first.
No stone was left unturned here. They even included the goddamn Punisher arcade game. I have high expectations for this one because Capcom Fighting Collection was a good offering, and I expect this to be built off of the back of CFC. I only hope for decent online. I only hope for MVC2 to sort of be the Dreamcast version because that shit's important. And I'm hoping that the secret characters will be banned online, otherwise chaos will reign. And also, where's the release date, Capcom? Where is it?
I thought it was rumored that it was like, well, rumored, leaked out. It's coming out in August. Hopefully it does, so I can squeeze that game in on time. Personally, I guess I'll go next. I think that this is super great. Once again, I think when I first saw it, I was like, wait a minute, what is going on? I thought Marvel was dead in the ground as far as MVC goes. Now we're seeing a revival with this collection. And I don't know if it's just leading me to have my brain just go all over the place and have false hope and say, well, maybe this could lead to something else down the road. I saw Capcom talking about it, saying, we probably would like to do a new entry, but I just kept doubting that was going to happen for the longest. I still am doubting it, but this is a sight to behold. I just remember the second thing I saw after the announcement was Maximilian Dude screaming, out of the top of his lungs because he could not believe that the dream was actually happening. So I'm very happy for him. I'm very happy for people who are invested into these games, and I've played them since I was like younger, MVC2, all that stuff. So it's gonna be a great trip of reliving that nostalgia and going back to what is Marvel versus Capcom, and a lot of new people coming in and enjoying it as well. Andre, what about you? What do you think of this collection coming back into some fruition with Marvel?
Very excited. It's a huge W for the Marvel vs. Capcom fans. Fortunately, like, so MVC2 is one of those, definitely one of those games that was like stuck on the PS3. Like, I know you can emulate it, but a lot of people wanted like to play it on their consoles, or at least, you know, have a physical copy. So I think having all the games in one collection is great. I think the release date's probably gonna be like October of this year. So yeah, but I'm pretty excited. Glad to, yeah, finally, we can finally play MVC2 again. It's been so long. I'd say it's definitely like one of those like big. It was like, you know, part of that video game Christmas. You know, like, you know, we got stuff like was it Final Fantasy VII remake, and then we got the return of DMC. So yeah, good stuff.
Next up is Nikki. What do you think of this collection so far, coming out and surprising everybody?
Well, I have to admit that I'm a little privileged when it comes to MVC because I have 2 barcades within driving distance of my house that has Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Marvel vs. Capcom 1. So for me, it like kind of lessened the hype, I would say, because for me, if I just want to play Marvel vs. Capcom, I'll just go to the barcade and, you know, have a drink, play MVC. Pretty cool. But I can't speak for everybody with that, and I am quite happy that it is a collection for everyone, like to bring the hype back and to bring in people who were younger than us, who never had a chance to play the original Marvel vs. Capcom games. So yeah, I think it's really cool, and I think it's I think it was definitely overdue because, you know, people talk about MVC still on Twitter and you know, online, and say, when's the next one coming out? And I think right now would be a really good time to start thinking about it, especially because the Marvel movie universe is kind of stagnant right now. They don't really know what's going on for that. I know they have a lot of projects. I think they have like projects that's coming up or so, but not too many. So they don't have to worry about the Marvel characters who they should or should not be putting in these Marvel games. But yeah, I think it's time to start thinking about a new one. And definitely it's hype. I mean, I can't say I was screaming at the top of my lungs about this Marvel vs. Capcom collection because it's so accessible for me still, but it's great for everybody else.
Kaneki, how about you? Any opinions on this?
Before I begin to state my opinion on this, I would like to say that we have done it, ladies and gentlemen. Marvel is free. MVC2 is free. We did it. The fact that now it is accessible to everyone around the world, that means yes, we finally have a legal way to play all these games on Steam for the first time. It's like, this is what people have been wanting for years. Not that stupid arcade one-up that they released for MVC and MVC2. It's like, that's not what people wanted. What they wanted was an actual collection. Because for Nikki, you know, I can understand a different situation where it's not that exciting, but a lot of others also, like she said, yeah, this is pretty important and exciting because definitely near my area or even far away, there's not much arcades around. And I can't play, and there's not much Marvel vs. Capcom cabinets, you know, to play with IRL friends. So the fact that this collection even exists, and supposedly, according to the leaks, it may come out sooner than October. I just hope it's a good collection. The online works, basic online features, and all that is in. I saw the lobbies is like up to 9. I just hope it's a perfect launch because people have been wanting this. We can finally play X-Men versus Street Fighter.
Yeah, that's the only thing I think is probably reasonable to worry about. How is it going to be at launch? But I'm sure it's going to be like fine for what it is for the most part. But there always is that lingering issue in the back of your head, like how is it going to run? Hopefully that rollback is good, but I know the main complaint that a lot of people talked about was this game not being on Xbox, and I think we explained it like it's just something with MT framework, which is why a lot of these older fighting games that are being revived aren't coming to Xbox. So sorry, but it kind of is what it is.
Apparently, this is not the case for this collection. There's actually no reason as to why this one is not on Xbox.
Really, no?
Yeah. What was the other game that wasn't on Xbox because of the MT framework reason?
Wasn't it SVC Khaos, the new one that came out?
Wait, was it this collection that was the MT framework, or no? MVC Chaos. That was the game that they also said. Yeah, that had no reason. My fault.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah, but that's something that I noticed that a lot of people were kind of pissed off about, and I guess that one had a more definitive reason for everything.
Yeah, this one had a reason.
So it's like, well, what can you do? It sucks, and I understand, but still, I just hope that maybe someday, somewhere, someone out there ports it, maybe puts it on limited run. I don't know. Don't kill me for that though. But still, we're moving on to the next question, and that is question number 2. So here's another big one here in terms of everything. So Mortal Kombat 1 just showcased its Chaos Reigns DLC characters, and the characters are Conan the Barbarian, the T-1000 from Terminator 2, female Sector and Cyrax, Ghostface, Noob Saibot. What are your thoughts on these characters so far and the Havoc story they showcased? I want to have Kaneki go first, then you'll go after him, Andre.
All right, no worries. Go on, Kaneki.
Oh, sorry to interrupt with my reaction, but already just from the characters alone, I wouldn't say it's underwhelming, but I can see why it's not as hype as the first season pass of this game, because first off, just by the MK, I don't mind the MK character side of this year 2 or season 2 they call it, because the MK characters, at least outside of female Sector and Cyrax, they are at least MK characters. The one I'm most interested to try out is Noob Saibot, obviously, because well, he is now related in the Havoc story showcase they showed right after they announced the DLC characters, and I want to see how he plays out. As for the guest characters, outside of T-1000 or T-100, sorry, or is it T-1000? Yeah, it is. I'm not hyped for Ghostface or Conan. I mean, Ghostface, had he been maybe MK11, I would have been fine with that, but no, they decided. Oh, I understand why they decided to put Ghostface, but for this game in particular, I don't know. I don't feel him in this game. And Conan, just forget it. Like, I know why they put Conan in there, but I don't feel hyped for him. I don't grow up with Conan.
What about you, Rad? Any thoughts on this?
Davidson.
Yeah.
Yeah, let Andre go. I'm still thinking about it.
Okay,
yeah,
go ahead, Andre.
I'll go really fast. Yeah, I'll give you my. I'll make it really fast. I'll go by all characters. Noob Saibot looks okay. I'll say this: it's dope that they got Kaiji Tang to like voice Noob. When I've heard of him in that trailer, he sounds really fucking awesome. Like, he's definitely a great actor. He's great in Sub-Zero, and he's even better as Noob Saibot. Cyrax and Sector, I don't know. I'm a little mixed because I mean it's cool they're in the game, but I don't like what they did with them. And story-wise, they like gender swap now. Apparently, the Yeah, he was Gojo and also Ichiban Yakuza. He's what was I about to say? Cyrex and Sector, they changed up their backstories because apparently now, instead of being part of the Cyber Initiative, now they're like power armors, which, I mean, take what you will, but at the same time, I do think it kind of took away a lot from their characters because the whole point of like the Cyber Initiative is like essentially, you know, turn ninjas into cyborgs against their will. But yeah, as for the guest characters, well, I'm gonna go on a limb here, but I really don't think anyone that was born like these mid 80s, late 90s, early 90s like remembers Conan, because Conan was like way before everyone's time. So he's a really bizarre choice, like definitely really out there. Ghostface, I would say have a little. I mean, maybe it could be interesting. We'll see. But Ghostface could be cool, but I'm not gonna really, you know, not something I'm like super excited for. I mean, it's neat they brought his voice actor back. As for T1000, I think they could have done without T1000 because, well, they brought Robert Patrick back, but at the same, it's just another Terminator variant. So yeah, overall, I'd say the MK side is probably the best. Where the guest character side is kind of not really feeling it, but we'll see what happens because because I think the pack comes out September, so I think maybe when those characters do come out, they'll probably be a lot better than what you see in the trailer.
At least they got the voice for Ghostface and T1000. I don't know about the others. Well, I know they're not gonna have Arnold. Oh, wait, are they gonna have Arnold for Conan?
I don't think they have said. They didn't have Arnie for the T800, so I don't think they're gonna have him.
No, they did not.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be the same sort of actor, just imitating him, because it was. From what I heard, and I don't know how true this is, but apparently Arnie has some aversion to video game violence, so he does not voice video game characters. I don't know how true that is, but if it is true, then do not expect him to be Conan the Barbarian in this DLC.
So dumb, though.
Yeah,
it's dumb, but I've heard this is the reasoning.
All right,
and that's if it's actually true. It's so dumb. I'm sorry, Andre. You go ahead.
I have a feeling they're gonna get Chris Cox a voice coming, like considering he voiced Arnie and MK11. Like, how much do I bet it's gonna happen? Because
that's the next best thing.
Like another sound alike.
Yeah, get another impersonator if you can't get the original guy. I just know that at least we have the T1000, which is Robert Patrick.
But he's fine voicing his own character, one of his own characters in that Predator video game that recently came out.
I have fucking never played that game. Wait, I think I have, but I don't remember the Arnie drop. So I just remember I played it for a little bit.
Yeah, it was way after we played it.
This game looks like two bitches on a bitch boat that has been thrown out by barbed wire, and I did not play it again.
Jesus.
Rad, how about you? You finally gathered your thoughts yet?
I think the word that I can use to describe this selection is baffling. Noob Saibot is kind of to be expected because he's a fan favorite, and however you get there is your business, even in reboot land. Sector and Cyrax being there, it kind of reminds me of their human variations in MK9, where they use gadgets and technology to sort of emulate their classic capabilities. Then the guest characters show up, and what Ghostface doesn't even fight. The target audience for this game is too young to know what the hell a Conan the Barbarian is. And he's a good fit for Mortal Kombat. This guy bites the head off a vulture. Tell me you don't want that in MK. The T1000, I'm guessing, is a holdover from still having Terminator license on hand, which, yeah, if there's the one guest character I'm okay with, it would more than likely be him, and kudos to getting Robert Patrick to voice him.
Yeah, that's always a plus.
I don't know. Considering these DLC characters are going to be part of the main story, I would prefer more Mortal Kombat characters that are relevant to the story and not 3 guests that are going to have fuck all to do with it. That's all I can really say. I'm actually super excited for female Sector and the role she's going to play, because Sector is one of my favorite Mortal Kombat characters, and I thought that there was no shot they were going to include a playable Sector when you have a cameo Sector. Why would you even bother? But they do it. And that's the character I'm most excited to play and honestly fawn over.
Easy there, easy there. We know that Sector is now a baddie.
Yeah, like that has stopped anyone ever.
Hey. Asian baddie, settle down, man.
I'll give my thoughts on this because I've seen a lot of hilarious. Look, if you are not on X, seeing all of this shit, you're just not taking in the fun. It's hilarious. I've seen people say, well, these characters are from the ancient prehistoric dinosaur time. I've seen people say that I'm not watching this old shit such as Terminator 2, which is still one of the best movies of, decades from now. Just still
I get
awesome.
comment, but talking that disrespect to Terminator 2, who are these people?
I've seen people say that the T-1000 looks like a fisherman. I've seen it all.
Bro, what?
It's like,
a fisherman. What?
why is it
He's mad because he's the best character on compared to the other two.
It's like, why does he have a?
Heathens.
It's a lot of
unculturedness.
I'm sorry, there's a lot of Gen Z opinions on this. I saw some 19-year-olds. I'm like, look, okay, I'm gonna say it like this. Terminator, it is a franchise where a lot of people kind of grew up with it and they know about it. I mean, Ed Boon is an older person, so of course these picks will be like well on his radar. As for the characters themselves, Conan, I mean, I can see people not being hyped for him, honestly, and I can really see it. I look at it from the perspective of, okay, is he violent? Does he fit MK in some capacity? But these are a lot of guest characters, and I would not go out of my way and say Conan does not fit into Mortal Kombat, because he does. As for the T-1000, I saw the main complaint of people saying, well, there's 2 Terminators now in Mortal Kombat, even though they fundamentally are different from each other in terms of aesthetic, body, everything. I think, of course, it's going to be another example of who plays either better or differently from the other one. But I do kind of get that to a small extent, but it is a good guest character, I'm not going to lie. As for Noob, I go ahead.
I have a question about Ghostface because I'm rather ignorant about the Scream franchise past the first movie.
Shoot.
Is this still some grounded guy in a mask character in the other movies, or do we go places where you can think, okay, yeah, Ghostface can hang with the likes of Raiden and God Liu Kang?
No.
Nope. Nothing like it.
Every Ghostface,
he's still a human.
Every Ghostface in the series has been human. They never tried the supernatural thing. At most, they have a reality sort of in-movie universe segment where it's kind of like they parody the Scream franchise called Stab, and they even said, hey, Stab gets ridiculous when it goes into space and Ghostface has like a flamethrower, so that's something they make fun of, but they don't go there in terms of the actual lore of Woodsboro, which is funny because I think that meme of the guy showing that, how is Ghostface gonna hang with Raiden, God Liu Kang, even Johnny Cage, all of these people with these,
or even the other guest characters like Omni-Man,
Peacemaker.
There was a leak where he and Ghostface interacted.
Like that, for that one, I can see, hey, Ghostface is just a regular dude. There's no way he sees the shaman, he's running in the other direction. At the same time, I also cannot agree with the people saying that Scream isn't relevant, because I mean it is popular. I guess they're following off of the horror movie trope. Oh, we're gonna have Jason, Michael, Leatherface, Freddy Krueger, so why not add another horror movie person to the convention? So I don't think that bothers me that much either. As for female Sector or Cyrax, this might be a hot take. People might come from my head, but I'm not really the biggest fan of the cyborgs outside of Smoke, so they're kind of just like there for me. And as for Noob is probably the best MK character addition they have to this pass. I'm looking highly forward to playing as him. I know people compared him to a monster can that was ingrained with green and black, and I just laughed my fucking ass off at that, but
He's an Xbox. Remember, he's an Xbox.
Yeah,
people
that's
call him
what
an
I
Xbox too.
posted.
Yeah, they call him an Xbox too, which was funny.
He's
But
he's an Xbox exclusive character, Kappa.
but I love how the DLC is setting up to where Havoc he has the Kamidogu in his chest. He's going around, he's morphing people into wraiths and causing a lot of chaos. Chaos is in the name. And I really like that. So I'm looking forward to where the story goes, and I'm okay with the pass being what it is. It's not the worst season pass I've seen, but I can also see, yeah, it could have been another character in there, maybe Doomslayer. That probably would have made everyone happy. Although that being said, I am looking forward to some of these characters, and some of the complaints are just, some justify, others are like, I'm not going back and watch this old shit such as Terminator. It's just like so funny to me. So Nikki, have you gone yet on this?
Not yet.
What are your opinions on the new season pass for MK and the story?
Well, let's see. Okay, well, I am interested in the story, especially because when I finish the story mode, for like the original story mode, you see Chaos Havoc coming down the stairs at the pyramid, and I think he killed Jax, and then he just kind of laughed about it. So I'm definitely hype for what I've seen with the whole Noob Saibot situation, and it's really interesting because Bihan's not dead. Like, according to what was shown in the trailer, that he's actually experimented on while he's alive, and he didn't die this time. So it kind of makes me curious that when we pop the game in, we're gonna have a slot for Bihan, we're gonna have a slot for Noob Saibot, possibly. He is the only character I actually give a damn about in this DLC pack. I could honestly care less about Sector and Cyrax. I don't understand. No, this is the thing that really is bothering me, and I really hope that this rumor is absolutely false. That apparently that they made them female so that they could double date Kuai Liang and Bihan. And I'm like,
oh my god, I hope not.
That better not be true. And the reason I'm saying that is because they're not there to be fleshlights for them. They are there to be part of the story. I hope. Like, don't fetishize this shit. Like, it's, I don't know, it's silly. And I just think it's so stupid that they're Iron Man suits instead of actual cyborgs. Like, that takes away the whole drama, that takes away the whole tragedy of the Lin Kuei. Like, I don't know. I just think that's so stupid. Also,
yeah, that's what I've been saying.
Yeah, and then having Ghostface in there, I am curious about how he's gonna play, because I have to see how are they gonna differentiate him and Smoke, because they're both knife wielders. Like, Smoke almost essentially has Ghostface's moveset. So I really don't know how they're gonna make it work. Like, I don't really know what else Ghostface does. I haven't seen a Scream movie since 2, but you know, I don't really know how it's gonna work. Conan the Barbarian, what the fuck? Terminator, yeah, Terminator's pretty cool. Like I said, Noob Saibot's the only character I give a shit about.
I'll give you an answer to Ghostface real quick. Outside of a knife wielding, he is a normal serial killer.
Right, that's
Like
true.
Like, at least Smoke, he's a ninja. He's you know.
Right.
He was trained with Bihan and fucking Hanzo. Ghostface is a human, a normal ass human serial killer. Wait, what are you gonna do with them? I'm curious with that as well.
Right, yeah, because I'm like, they both essentially just swing their knives around. Like, I mean, of course, Smoke has ninja moves too, along with it, but after a while, those knife moves are probably going to start overlapping. But yeah, I'm interested in this whole story. I mean, having Havoc as a villain is actually pretty cool. Because, you know, we all expect like, oh, Shao Kahn's gonna be a villain, Naga might show up, you know, we had Shang Tsung already, but we haven't had Havoc as a villain for quite some time. Like the big main. So, and I'm interested. I will admit, and I'm not saying any leaks or whatever, but I have seen many parts of the leaked script for Chaos Reigns. So obviously I'm not going to say any of it here, but from what I have seen, how much of it is actually true, it looks pretty legit from what I've heard, but we'll see.
I just hope, as long as it's exciting and kind of sets up for the next one in a little bit more of a interesting and cohesive way, then I'm totally fine with it. It does have me invested though, and I did like what I saw for the most part, because it's like you said, Havoc hasn't been like a big main baddie, so they could do something possibly interesting with it, but we'll see where it goes. So I think that's it for this question in particular, and now we move on to the next one. So they have a free update. This is the last like Mortal Kombat 1 question, but they have a free update, and I saw they brought back animalities. And also, since Takeda is out, has anyone played as him so far? This is like a double question. I'm gonna start with Kaneki.
Before I answer the animality, I'm gonna tell you what I think about Takeda so far. He's more like an intimate character. Like, you could pick up and play with him, but if you want to learn how to do his crazy ass combos, you gotta really live with this man, because my god, the combos he can do is crazy, man. I'm talking some combos where he could take away half of your health, just like some of the characters in day one MK1 release. It is insane. And I don't think I play. I think I play the tower for Takeda, but I know it's a. But I don't know which Takeda is this. Is this like the MKX Takeda in terms of like the character they introduce in this game, or is it a different Takeda in whole?
I think
it's
it's
different Takeda.
yeah, it's like now he's not Kenshi's son anymore. He's his cousin.
His cousin from the Yakuza, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
From what I've heard too about Takeda, he's more aloof this time around. He's a lot more serious than like MKX, where he was more snarky and kind of jokey.
Yeah, he is definitely more serious in this one. At least they got the same voice actor from MKX to voice him. Like I said, always a plus when they bring in some of the original voice actors, man. It's great. It's the characters or their voices argument always come to shine. Well, I would recommend him to get him. He is a fun character to play. As for the animality, thank God we don't have to pay for it this time. They are free to use once the update is out.
Like
and
the
I think,
holiday stupid update where you have to pay for stupid Thanksgiving fatalities. I hated that.
Yep, I think that was a response to that. It's like, okay, so they did learn. They won't make us pay for animalities, because, oh boy, I can only imagine the backlash if this was you also had to pay for.
I'll give my thoughts on this real quick. I like the animalities being back, and of course being free is good, because again, I thought the holiday seasonal fatalities where you got Santa Claus like stomping on someone's balls, it's funny, but it's stupid that you got to pay for it. I guess they learned their lesson.
Money.
They learned their lesson this time for sure. I seen some of them, and I don't know, Belina turning into a praying mantis. They're supposed to be stupid. Like, I saw someone trying to make logical sense of this on X, and I'm like, look, you don't do that. You see someone turning into a giant gorilla and tearing them apart, it's supposed to be absolutely dumb, dude. you're probably gonna have some funny ones too. And I also heard that apparently the DLC characters are also gonna have animalities for free. So if you get like Terminator or Conan or any of those people, they will also have the animalities, which is pretty good. I'm glad they thought of that ahead of time. I think that's fun. I think that's fine. I think we need ridiculous shit. So if I want to tear people apart as a giant anteater, I should have the ability to do so. As for Takeda himself, I mean, he looks really fun. That's all I can really say about him because I haven't bought him yet, but he's on the top of my list so far for fighters. So I will definitely pick him up, and I might pick up Noob 2 or Chaos Reigns, but it is like a cool 50, so I'm probably gonna wait a little bit before I get everybody, because I have other priorities like Dead Rising Remaster. Rad. Oh, what? Good.
I'm sorry. Before Rat can go, I would like to say this real quick. If you log into MK1 as of this recording or as of right now, you could get a free MK movie skin for Scorpion for free.
And also the other movie skins, well, I think you have to pay for them, but at least they
You gotta pay for those.
Yeah, at least they put those in, and they're pretty cool to see, so I kind of enjoy them and at least appreciate them to some extent. But Rat, what do you think about the animalities, Takeda, and all the other new additions to MK1?
So I'll just say before I get started on my brief animality discussion that I play the game on Xbox Series S, and as of this recording, it's currently going through some issues where Ermac and Quan Chi are technically not in the game. You select them and they're just T-posing on the screen, and if you pick them, the game freezes. If you encounter them in towers, the game freezes. If you try their combos, they just sort of T-pose there, and you can jump around, and you can you can demo their combos, but they just have these like weird animations. So I'm not really playing the game as of now, which is unfortunate for Takeda. I'm just offering that little piece there. As for animalities, yes, please. They are completely free. There is no FOMO behind these fatalities, which is an absolute plus. And it does make me wonder and ponder who is getting what animal, especially when it's not going to be a copy paste from the MK3. AKA, Scorpion's not a penguin anymore, so take that for what you will. But animalities are what I'm definitely looking forward to for the sheer kooky craziness factor. And the fact that there's going to be some actual effort put into them. It's not just sliding a sprite across the screen and then, oh, suddenly your head's fallen off. But that's about all I have to say about animalities. Looking forward to them.
And somehow they have more effort put into them than the cameo fatalities. It's amazing almost. Well, Andre, how about you? What do you think of the fatalities and Takeda?
So I haven't played Takeda because I don't own MK1 yet, but considering that they're coming out with that Chaos pack, which is September, I will likely, like I said, I'll likely probably get MK1 around that time, because I do want to get the season 1 and 2 carries. Yeah, I'm glad animalities are back there. They were one of the best parts of like MK3, and I did see one of them where like Rain turns into a puffer fish. Like, what was it? The opponent eats the puffer fish, and then like you know, like a puffer fish blow.
He spikes out and the torso explodes.
Spikes out. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, but yeah, definitely. But yeah, MK fans get a dub. Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Now fix the Xbox version for my boy Raz so he can finally play the game again.
I saw that bug. Yeah,
Yes.
I was like, why is everyone T-posing on Xbox?
I even triple checked everything too. It's only the Xbox version that has that problem.
Yeah, they
I
have
don't
a lot of
understand
problems
why.
with the Xbox version right now. Like you can't even play online either, apparently.
I guess part of
What the fuck?
the update patch got fucked in the process.
Yeah, the update patch definitely got screwed over for the Xbox peoples.
Wow.
Oh, hopefully they
You want to
address
come over and play my version, right?
this.
I got the PS5 version ready to go.
Yeah, have it in the
I will
envelope.
say for the record, if Lee May is not a panda or a bear of some kind, somebody at NRS is fucking up royally.
It's gotta be a panda. Yeah. Nikki, did you go yet on this or no?
I did not.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I like this Animalities. I think it's creative and interesting that, it's crazy that they're bringing it back. And I like playing the little guessing game of seeing like which character is which. Like we've seen Rain as the pufferfish, we've seen Scorpion as Scorpion, Melina as a praying mantis. I think it was Garrus who was the hippo, was it? And then I think it was Quan Chi as the T-Rex. Right now we are trying to find out who the gorilla was who ripped them in, who ripped his opponent apart. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting seeing who is like what animal, and yeah, and I like how it's free because it's optional if you want to download it. It's optional if you don't want to download it. That's cool, but you don't have to pay anything for it. As far as Cicada goes, I played him at EVO, and thanks for everyone who was like helping me go viral with it, with making a video of his fatality before he came out. That was fun. But if you're looking for a character to give you arthritis in your hands or carpal tunnel, whatever you want to call it, pick out Takeda. But no, for real though, he is definitely complicated, but he's fun, I will say. I got the season pass when it was on sale, and I think it's on sale now for like 60% off, if I remember correctly. But I ended up getting the season pass when it was on sale because my brother really wanted Quan Chi. And I said, yeah, why don't I just get the whole pass? So I've been wanting to play as Takeda, but ever since someone told me that Sector got buffed, the cameo, I've been playing Sector and Smoke together. And then Goro supposedly got buffed, and then he got nerfed. And from what I'm understanding now, there was a stealth buff and nerf kind of patch that came out recently. So Striker, from what I hear, is buffed now. So I'm about to play him now. I don't know who I'm going to pair him up with, but I'm going to try him with Takeda, see what happens.
Oh boy. All right. Next question is, Tekken related. It's like, oh boy, Heihachi Mishima is dead. He is not dead, apparently. Raven got it wrong yet again after being punched in the heart and thrown into lava. Heihachi is alive, and he's going to be a character in the next upcoming event for the season pass. What do you guys think of this? And we will begin with Rat first.
Much like Bison, it's too soon to be talking about Heihachi, especially when you made this big deal about how he is completely dead. We're moving on from him, but seeing as season 1 so far was kind of a dud before this, you just couldn't help yourselves. And not to mention with the story you're building up with Kazuya and Jun and Reina, and all of that gets to go by the wayside for 8.5. No, I'm not. I was hype and excited and shocked by it, but by no means am I looking forward to it, because that's all I'm gonna see online for the next couple weeks after he's released. That's really all I have to say. Can fighting games just let the dead stay dead? Like, it's like the movie said, sometimes dead is better. Sometimes dead is better.
Nikki, it is your turn. What do you think about Heihachi Mishima coming back from the dead?
So here's a funny story about that. I actually didn't make it to the venue in time for any of the Tekken stuff. I was eating, I was in the swimming pool, it was hard to get me out of bed. So and I was also staying 40 minutes away from the convention center, but anyway, 40 minutes walking, I'm sorry. Driving, it would have taken me like 5-10 minutes to get there. But anyway, I was in the Denny's and I just happened to be flipping my phone and I saw the trailer for Heihachi, and there was like maybe 5 other people from EVO in the Denny's with me. I had my cheeseburger in front of me, and sorry, not my cheeseburger. I had my breakfast in front of me, and the 5 of us just shouted in the Denny's, "What the fuck? Heihachi is alive!" And I was like, yeah, if you guys aren't at EVO, you don't understand. And like everyone was staring at us like, who's Heihachi? What are you guys talking about? And I'm like, it's Vegas. Don't even ask us that. What do I think about Heihachi? I mean, Steve Harvey coming out of the volcano. Yes, I saw the memes. I'm interested because, you know, I want to see what they want to do with it, because they were making a big deal about him being dead. They had all the characters have almost seemingly moved on from the Heihachi situation, and they were kind of building up Reina as like the next Heihachi or so. What the hell's the point now? Heihachi ain't dead now. Heihachi's back. What the hell are you gonna do with Reina? I mean, you could have them kind of be like, you know, father and daughter, big bad together or whatever, but what the hell are you gonna do with her now? Heihachi's back. She's irrelevant. You know, but I'm interested. I want to see what they're gonna do with it.
What about you, Kaneki?
Oh, what about me? You might cut out a bit on my end.
What do you think of this question?
Oh, there we go. You're better. Well, most of outside of not being excited, because I am excited for this, most of what Ravras said is how I mostly feel. Well, except for the fact that you know, Reina is not just going to be like thrown side like in the sideline when it comes to like the Mishimos once this man was announced to be still alive and going to be played in season 1. We're talking about Reina might as well not exist in this game at all, or at least till the next game, because who's going to be playing as her when he drops? I'm sorry, the better Mishima is here.
Reina is going to be in the same pile as Lars, where you're not really relevant to the story, but hey, you're a Mishima, let's keep you around. Hey, you're a Shoto, people like you, let's keep you in Street Fighter. Oh, sorry, that's season 3 spoilers.
Oh, man, all because of Terry Bogard. But anyways, I'm excited to see what he plays and what the new teased story expansion they're gonna do for Tekken. I'm curious to see where it goes. Yeah, all I gotta say is bye-bye, Reina.
I don't feel like this 8.5 is going to be as exciting and as fulfilling as main story Tekken 8. The Tekken monks? Get the fuck away from me with Tekken monks.
Somehow these are monks doing the EWGF on hot coals, and this is not affecting them. Now, I did like
Sure.
I liked when they had one of them had the white hair, and I think that's probably gonna be a Heihachi alt with him and the white hair and him probably looking like Raiden. But other than that, the Tekken monks are just so funny. I think that's kind of the point. It's just so
unless
dumb.
it's Jinpachi.
Jinpachi trading 101.
Yeah, imagine all this time he was alive.
Can we talk about that as of right now, Jinpachi's death is the only one that sticks in the Mishima family?
Yeah, but he hasn't been brought back since, unless
You're right so far.
Yeah, unless...
if he takes off the mask, it's him. I can't wait for the reaction.
Oh my god, dude! I don't know how. I feel like Kazuya's gonna just drop to his knees, like, one of you please die. Just it's like I was in this situation, but one of you please die. As for what I think on the characters and Heihachi and all the other stuff, I mean, I think he's fine. Does it kind of ruin Tekken 7 substantially? Yeah, it does. It takes away from the emotional effect that this should have been Heihachi's last rodeo, but sometimes you can't always kill him. And I think that started to become a trope when Tekken 5 happened, it was like, hey, Heihachi Mishima's dead. He comes back, and then he comes back again. It's been. I think it was.
You need instructions.
I think it was a trope even since the first one, because I think Kazuya threw him off a cliff to sort of own him, and he came back in Tekken 2. So this man is unkillable at this rate. At this point, it's ridiculous as fuck. I am not really, well, sometimes I play as Heihachi, sometimes I don't. I prefer his son. It's gonna be interesting to see how he factors into the story DLC, because we still have that coming. I guess maybe we'll get some more development there. Maybe if people are invested, he will meet Reina, swear in his daughter, and then notice, oh shit, you have the devil gene too. Also, I don't know if they're gonna do anything special with that scar on Heihachi's chest or whatever. Maybe that's just like a battle scar when he was hit there, but I noticed some people said that was kind of like illuminating a little bit, and also he looks a little younger with his hair. I don't know if his hair is like a little bit darker or whatever, but some people are influencing and saying it might be something up with him that's a little bit supernatural, but I don't know. It's Tekken, so I expect anything at this rate. Go ahead.
I'll give you my thoughts. So Ren, to answer your theory, I have a theory. I think Heihachi probably like reverse age. Like when he got House Not Law, but he probably reverse age. So I want to say he looks more like his Tekken 1 and 2 self. That's what I think. As weird as that sounds, I mean that could be possible. As for Heihachi coming back, yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with y'all. I feel like it just feels kind of pointless, because the whole point of Tekken 7 was to like wrap up his entire character arc, and they're like, well, let's bring him back, which kind of completely invalidates Tekken 8, because now it's like, okay, so we're moving on from Kazuya, but now it's like, oh, we gotta bring Heihachi back. It's I'll give it credit, the trailer does look hype. I mean, it's cool. I do think it's kind of neat that he has his own, like, I guess, worshippers of him, which is kind of neat. At the same time, though, it's just we'll see. I mean, maybe he'll play differently than Running 7, but other than that, it's kind of something I'm like anti-hype on. But
play differently. That's cute.
Hopefully, I mean, shoot, at least in Bison 6 did he did have some new things, but for the most part, he was the same character, so we'll see. But yeah, overall, Heihachi, I should be more excited, but I'm not really feeling it too much. I mean, maybe I'm just kind of tired of the character, you know.
Once a
back and back
Mishima
again, but yeah.
Once a Mishima, always a Mishima.
I'll ask y'all this. This, would you rather have this? Yeah, I'm talking about the character, not talking about how it led to the tech. Let's just say if it didn't affect the story, right? Would you rather have this, Heihachi as DLC, or the initial, quote unquote, initial leak?
Oh, absolutely.
The season 1.
Absolutely.
Times better than the initial leak. Thank God that wasn't true.
At least we can agree to that.
Absolutely. If it would have been Fakuram,
it would have been 10 times worse if it wasn't Heihachi. If it
would have been Fakuram, or if it would have been Marduk, I just think people would have found their validation into really, really disliking the past. I see.
They would have dropped Tekken.
I see what people mean when they say that, yes, it kind of invalidates Tekken 7, but I also see why bringing him back is exciting to some people, enough to the point where at least you want to try him, play as him, or see his position in the story. And now Jin and Kazuya are gonna freak out seeing him again. I that makes sense. But in terms of like an impact on that game, yes, I can see that being ruined. At the same time, if it was those two, it would have been so lackluster. And that's how I feel about that. We're moving on to the next one here, which is question number 5. Guilty Gear Strive has announced its season 4 content, and the characters are Dizzy, Venom, Unica, and Lucy from Cyberpunk Edge Runners. What do you think of this announcement so far? And I will go first with Mr. Kaneki.
Well, before I do, I want Rad to have his quick thought on the guest character because a certain cyberpunk character was not in it, but instead it's the popular Lucy, if that's her name. What was the character you wanted, Rad?
Ham fuckers. It should have been Rebecca.
That's there
You
we
know
go.
how harder she fits the Guilty Gear criteria than Lucy does. What's Lucy gonna do? What's Lucy gonna do? I'm taking your turn. I'm sorry. What is Lucy going to do in this universe? At least Rebecca has a proper weapon to use. What's Lucy got? Strings. Wow.
She's
It's
doing
just
strings.
it's just so out of left field, and not to mention this anime is pretty old by the modern standard. It's not too late. It's just kind of. I'm okay. I'm taking your turn. I'm sorry. I'm happy with this list overall. Dizzy and Venom, great choices. Feels like about fucking time. And I love the Queen Dizzy design. This is the best she's ever looked. I love the cute little flower in her hair. Venom is a decent pick. I'm looking forward to how his playstyle will connect with Strive's mechanics and overall goals in that game. Like, how is he going to pull your ass to the corner? And Unica, whatever, get your anime rep in there. It makes sense within the confines of Guilty Gear. Looking forward to how that character plays and what that character even does. But no, I'm baffled by Lucy, and it will sort of tie into a question later down the line. This is still probably the best season pass of the entirety of Strive so far. So yeah, net positive at least. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they definitely did added her because of popularity. Didn't Capcom did this with Akira from Rival Schools when they added her in Street Fighter Five?
That I don't feel like the words rival schools and popularity necessarily go together. When was the last game again? Oh right, 20 some years ago.
Oh well, I'm talking about in terms of like the characters. If people do know that series, was she like the most popular?
I don't remember for sure. There was that, oddly enough, there was that list of who your favorite Street Fighter character was, and the poll that went out there, or like
Right.
CFN and in game, and people picked either Akira or Aki because people just matched through the sequence.
Hmm.
So there's that.
I,
But
but I,
I don't feel like these two are related.
but I do understand your reaction to the guest character because, in a way, I did felt that same with Akira and Street Fighter Five because I rather wanted Batsu than fucking Akira because I'm no fond of that character. I just know Batsu.
Lucy should have been Rebecca, should have been David, but well, spoilers. Lucy is probably the only one that survived the events. Probably why she's there. And yeah,
It's okay, man.
anything else I have to say about her is tied into a later question down the line.
Okay. Well, as for the rest of the season pass, I actually do not mind. Although Venom, I don't hate the character. I just not a fan of him personally, but I don't hate him necessarily. Dizzy is the only reason why I even pre-ordered. Yes, I pre-ordered this season pass just for her, just for the queen herself, because she deserved to be in this game. The Queen Dizzy herself is back, and I am interested in that anime rep character after Venom. I want to see how that character plays. Um, I, did anyone watch the anime? And if so, what is like her fight style?
It hasn't happened yet. This is all being done in tandem with the upcoming anime.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Do you know when it comes out?
2025, I think.
Yeah.
For Guilty Gear. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I know.
Okay, so by the time the anime will be out, that character will more likely be out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Gotcha. But yeah, Dizzy height. That's all I gotta say.
I don't have much to really say about this question, so I will skip my turn. Nikki, how about you? You have anything to say on the Strive DLC for season 4?
No, not really. To be honest, I am like the most casual of the casual Guilty Gear players. So I really just picked up Chips Enough for like a week, and I said, you know what, moving on to another game. Not to
At
say that
least you
Guilty
picked Chip.
Gear. I'm sorry.
At least you picked Chip.
Yes.
That's my homie.
I'm
Yeah, I
still
really like his.
stubbornly trying to play Ramlethal in that game, but she's just too slow. She can do her thing at mid-range, but once the opponent gets in, unless she has meters, she's screwed.
Yeah, this sounds like my kind of character. I get screwed either way. Because I get trapped in the corner, forget about it. But I guess I could play more Strive. I don't know. Chips Enough was fun.
What about you, Andre?
That's on the Dizzy and Venom are really cool picks. We don't know too much about Unica, but I know she's gonna be a central figure in the Guilty Gear anime. As for Lucy, a bit really surprising because, like Rad said, Edge Runners was a while ago, and I'm kind of shocked. But at the same time, considering that Studio Trigger anime and like Studio Trigger's, it still is kind of reminiscent of really seeing influences like Arc System Works games. It's gonna be really interesting to see. Yeah, that's all I really gotta say on it.
I'm gonna be real. If you were just going to bring in an anime character from a Studio Trigger project, Kill la Kill was right there, man.
Yeah.
Satsuki's
Funny enough,
right there. She would fit Guilty Gear like a glove.
Yeah, I was gonna say add Satsuki.
They did have a Kill la Kill game by Arc System, Gone Kaneki.
Yeah, that's all the more reason. You've worked with them before. Even though you didn't develop the game, you still published it.
She can fight. She has revealing outfit. She's perfect. Well, why are you not adding her, man? Good anime, by the way. Recommend watching it.
Yeah, I don't. This kind of, even for Guilty Gear, this kind of seems like a very random choice.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Like Guilty Gear has a heavy metal aesthetic, and nothing says heavy metal like techno.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a weird hybrid style. I don't know, maybe they could probably pull it off, like considering the differences, but I just kind of, I don't know. I think they could have picked someone else, and they could have had a lot more of a flair, like maybe some female swordsman from an anime or something like that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe grab a Bleach character that would have been 80 billion times more hype as a guest.
Or better, yeah. Freerun from Freerun.
Oh
my god.
But we are moving on to the next question, which is some Garo City of Wolves. They gave us an update on 2 additional characters so far on the roster, and that is Kevin Ryan and Billy Kane with hair emphasis. What do you think of them so far, and who else do you want to see in City of Wolves personally? Kaneki, you go first.
Well, before I get into Billy Kane, because he was announced like right after EVO, he was announced, I believe they was in China Joy, in that PlayStation China Joy event when they were showing it. But my reaction to Kevin Ryan is, of course, he has to be there. He was in the last game. I can tell one particular YouTuber I follow, he doesn't like this character because he probably got his ass kicked a lot by this character, but that's to be expected. I don't feel much for Kevin. Welcome on board, but Billy Kane though, what the fuck happened? I guess the years later down the line, he finally was it Nero said he always had hair. He just always wore something on his head, but I never seen his hair till now. And his face looks different. So I'm wondering what the hell happened to Billy Kane with all these years. I know they said he's like the leader of like the organization Geese was in, but let's be honest, do you really think Geese is dead? Geese is gonna let even his boy Billy Kane to run his organization?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not keeping the same energy for Heihachi if Geese is announced for City of the Wolves.
I know I'm not. Fucking Geese Howard, get in.
Hypocrisy galore. Even if he's in the initial roster, if he's DLC, hypocrisy galore. I especially want him to be the main roster. I want story interactions.
Like, and he would actually in a way have make sense why if Geese would have actually come back to this Garo. He has a nightmare form. Let him make him use that nightmare form to bring Geese back from the dead.
Yeah, you don't have to bring Geese back from the dead. Just call him Nightmare Geese. You've done that since 1998.
They at least, yeah, like I said, they have at least a reason if they want to bring Geese back. I would not complain. What do you think about it, Ren? What do you think about those two characters?
Well, everyone knows, like, the last time I played Garo was with you guys in the Fightcade, so I don't really have much of a history with Kevin. I'm gonna skip out on him, but as for Billy, I know him because I fought him several times, and he's a pain in my ass, and he got on my nerves. He definitely looks like way different than what I would have expected, because I'm used to the overalls look and him just, you know, having the bandana. This is different. I'm hoping this game does have like a lot of alternate costumes, or maybe like a few of them at least, if they want to do like some classic outfits or some reminiscent outfits of certain characters. They can do that, but otherwise it looks kind of weird. But it is still Billy gameplay. Still does like a lot of the same maneuvers and moves, just updated to fit this game, along with some new additions and bonuses, like the way he does his like super down, which is also pretty cool. So yeah.
By the way,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. By the way, congrats on the English dub for Billy Kane. He is now British.
Not Australian.
Yeah, took the
he sounds really good.
But
Can't complain. He sounds good.
But this game looks like hella fun. So as long as they keep putting in like unique and cool characters, I think it's gonna carry it to the finish line. Honestly, what about you, Andre? Do you have any opinions on this?
Was that girl? Kevin and they look great. I'm very excited for Garo. The game is looking better and better with like each new trailer. Definitely like the graphics and animations look like a huge step up from KO 15. You know, I do kind of wonder what the next character they're gonna reveal, because I would like to see Gato. Like, I think Gato is definitely like a lock-in. I'll probably put in I think maybe Maya and Blue Mary also would be nice to see. And like rather than Kaneki said, I think Geese is gonna be in this game somehow. Like, he has to. But yeah, very excited though. No complaints here.
Right. What about you?
I've already kind of talked about it. Kevin Ryan is there. He was in the original. You might as well stick him in. He doesn't look as dynamic as he did in the original. It's like something about his hair. It looks so plain. Plus, Billy Kane. Billy Kane has had hair. There are a few win poses he takes off the bandana. Whose turn is it? So you've seen that before. It's very rare, but it has happened. That being said, Billy Kane with no bandana. I know that Fatal Fury is not allergic to redesigns. I can point directly to Mr. Terry Bogard there, but what are we doing, guys? The bandana is Billy's calling card. And you don't even give him that. Also, he got old fast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have anyone that I could really want in this game. I have Hotaru. I'm basically set for whenever this game is released. But I was just... Okay, so funny story. I was just talking about this a day ago with a friend of mine. Hey, this old versus new idea, it's probably not going to happen. This is going to be a small roster of 16 characters where everyone from Garo comes back with the exception of Freeman, and maybe you'll get a new character or two. No, Billy Kane just took a huge dookie dump on my theory that this is going to be a condensed roster. So, can we get more old school Fatal Fury characters here? I would like to see maybe Raiden, even though Tizak the Griffin is already there. By the way, he's Tizak again. Thank God. I know, haven't talked about it yet. But yeah, more old school Fatal Fury characters. Whoever you got, I welcome them, especially Geese. Yeah, not keeping that energy. I admit that. All right, I'm done. But
Then there was
Ren?
silence.
Oh, there we go.
On the other hand, I have a question for you all. What do you think the final roster count for this game's going to be?
Ooh,
That's a good question.
It's probably the same as the original.
You
The
know
original,
what, Rad?
for the record, was 14, counting the bosses.
maybe 20.
I'm gonna say 18.
Yeah, close to 18.
Bosses included?
Bosses included.
Okay.
Oh, that would be nice. That would be nice.
17 to 18. That's what I think.
Because we know they have yet to announce the likes of Kane, because he was in the original teaser. And there's references to one of these stages, some type of conglomerate with KRH in there. So Kane still exists in that universe, and it's not like he's dead. He's still roaming around doing whatever he is.
Yeah, I think 18, 20 would be a good number, and then the rest is gonna fit into DLC category, of course. I was gonna ask though,
What if fucking Mai Shiranui is DLC?
I don't think the world is ready for that.
I don't think the world is ready to pay for Mai.
Yeah.
Hold on. In SNK, probably, yeah, you're right. They're probably not ready for that. But in other situations, hey, Capcom, you better release that trailer soon. You hear?
That's true. I was worried you were going to pull the objection DOA.
Well, I can't say that because I unfortunately was one of those that bought her before they delisted her in DOA.
Oh yeah, guilty. I bought her twice in 5 and 6.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, I'm super guilty. But she was fun. She was worth the buy.
Okay. Scratch that from the record. People aren't ready to pay for the likes of Blue Mary.
That too. Yeah, I'm not ready to pay for her. Nope.
Yeah, she was DLC in 14.
There's that too. Yeah, I'm thinking along the line. Okay, I'm thinking along the lines of: are people ready to pay for Duck King?
No. Base game or come on. Unless he's free, then no.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah,
The old
DLC for this
heads would be
game-
upset.
The DLC for this game is going to be wild.
Before they have Kyo or Iori as DLC.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Iori would fit in Garo than Kyo. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If they was to pull that.
Yeah.
Kyo doesn't get invited to things. We've established this.
Amen. He had his chance in Street Fighter V, but look what happened. Luke.
We got his voice actor. That's about it. Luke's probably getting in this game.
Oh yeah, that's right. He
As a
might have
guest.
more of a chance than Kyo. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can see. Yeah, that's what I predicted.
I mean, Terry's and Mice in Street Fighter 6. They might as well return the favor.
Yeah, Luke being a guest in Garo is actually Save the Wolves makes sense.
Yeah. Can I just get Luke and Chun-Li in Fatal Fury? It's a fair trade.
Yeah.
Chun-Li? Yeah,
I'll be fine with Chun-Li.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, that'd be cool. I know JoJo would be happy. He'd be happy.
But we are going to move on to the next one unless Nikki has anything to say on this question.
Nah, you're good. Move on.
Okay, I will do just that. So the next one is KOF is adding in Mature and Vice to the roster. Any opinions on this? Rad, I want you to go first.
KOF 15's DLC plan ended with Hinako. Obviously, SNK wasn't going to let that fly, so while they're making Fatal Fury, I figured they'd come back to KOF one more time. And it wasn't what I initially thought it was. Like a mature Vice combination character, they tag out between
Thank
each
God.
other, Hisui Kohaku style. I'm 50% happy with this because I'm a big fan of Mature throughout the KOF series. I've used her in just about every game. Vice, not so much, but you really can't have Mature without Vice.
That's true.
I'm honestly fine with this. You only have 7 of the 8 Hakeshu, and SNK don't get any ideas. But December's a pretty long wait, especially how close is that to when Fatal Fury launches? Because as soon as Fatal Fury hits, KOF 15 is going to be about as dead as Reverse.
God damn.
Oh god.
Damn, Reavers. Wait a minute.
Remember Reverse? Remember the boss of 15?
The boss. Oh yeah. All right. I
You mean
think
14?
No, that was Verse.
think-
I'm talking about Reverse, Ladyverse.
Yeah, I know you're talking about Reverse.
That's my opinion of Reavers. It's a female version of that character. Lame.
Okay, Andre, you were saying?
I think Gara's gonna be February, March. So yeah, actually, yeah. So
Yeah, so this DLC would have at least 2 or 3 months of life before the entire game gets replaced.
How do you know it won't have a life when they're out? Because by then people will be playing Terry and Street Fighter 6 instead.
I don't know. This and that are 2 different things kind of situation. It really doesn't feel like SNK people are going to permanently migrate to Street Fighter. They'll try them out for sure, but eventually KOF will come calling. With Iori's personal secretaries at tow come December.
Oh, they don't have to migrate to Street Fighter 6. They can migrate back to 98 on Fightcade, which they still do. Go check it out.
Thank God. But yeah, I'd say these 2 are better closers for 15 than Hinako was. I'm sorry, girl. I love you, but you didn't deserve to be the finale for that game. Something had to be done.
He
That's
wanted
really
Luke in there. It's
say.
okay.
He won't.
I saw people thinking special character. I saw people thinking Street Fighter team, a team of characters at some
That would have
point.
been amazing.
Yeah, it would have been incredible. With all this Capcom and SNK cross-contamination going on, and we'll talk about that real soon. I know I'm teasing too much. With all this cross-contamination going on, maybe sticking some Capcom characters in an SNK project would be nice. Would be nice to finally rip off that Band-Aid. Okay, that's all I have to say.
I never really used Mature or Vice. I remember, god damn it, they were picked a lot in the tournaments though, alongside some other characters, like people using Athena, but I don't have much to say on this question, so I'm going to skip it over to Nikki. You have anything to say about this question?
Again, it's another game that I'm really just casual fan of, so I'm honestly not too familiar with the 2 characters. But I guess it's cool. I'm really just a casual, like, older KOF player. Like, if I see the arcade, like, in a barcade, yeah, I'm gonna play it. But that's, like, really the extent of that.
Kaneki, what do you think about Mature and Vice?
So you only know Terry?
No, I know a lot of the roster. I mean, I know Terry, I know my Iori and Kyo. I think Benimaru was another name. Kim Capcom.
Benimaru.
Stuff like that. Karnov. I know Karnov is not in KOF, but I know he's just Karnov.
There's a lot of Ben and Maru's that were also in the Evo streams that we were watching, so that was kind of a little bit entertaining, I'm not gonna lie. But Kaneki, you have any opinions on Mature and Vice?
Um, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of disappointed that it was not what I expected. I thought it would be either a Street Fighter team or a Capcom character. But at the same time, I can understand why they would do this. I mean, in a way, SNK fans kind of did actual Mature advice for this game, and to those who asked for them, well, they got their wish. Thank God. Well, the only positive I can say is thank God they're not like a one character duo type of situation, because that would have been confusing of how to play like Mature and Vice in one. That would be stupid. I just have a feeling it will be the same way they'll play as like 98 and the other games where Mature is easy to play, but she'll be busted, and Vice is more of a expert level of character to learn.
It's not like you have to change too much. They were both in 14.
That's true. Just don't nerf Mature. Fix her face. Because she was ugly in 14.
Shit. Well, Andre, do you have anything to say on this or no?
Current Vice, I mean, cool, but I'm not like ecstatic about them either. I mean, it's neat, but yeah, KOF 15's pretty much kind of come to a conclusion since Save the Wolves is coming out next year. So, I mean, it's cool they're in the game, but yeah.
All right, so we're moving on to a stealth drop here. When we were watching Evo and it was revealed that they put out SVC Khaos, and everyone was just like, okay, this has been modernized again, brought back to life and brought back on these consoles. What do you guys think of this release so far, and the rollback and the online? Rad, I'm gonna go with you first.
This is more than SVC Khaos ever deserved. Good, decent rollback. The boss characters playable at the flip of a switch. Proper lobbies. An art gallery for what little there is. Like, SVC as a game didn't deserve something of Code Mystic's quality.
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are. Like, I was watching this right after KOF 15 finals at EVO. I was watching this and I'm like, who? How? Who asked for this? I do have some concerns about it because Code Mystic said they want to be as authentic to the original as possible. This is a disclaimer for anyone who's going to tackle the single player. It has limited continues because it is based off the Neo Geo console version where you had 4 continues, nothing more, nothing less. And as of right now, there's no opportunity to have unlimited continues. So, considering how ruthless those bosses are, and you don't have the maneuverability of a KOF, good luck. You're gonna need it.
You're gonna need it.
But this is a stellar way to get into SVC Khaos. Why you would get into this game, I have no idea, because I know people are sort of asking for it for the sake of completion's sake, because it's a crossover fighting game.
Preservation's important, my friend.
Yep, even for SVC. It's not the drizzling shits by any means, but it was a disappointment when it was first released, because this was at the time where SNK was just picking themselves up and calling themselves Playmore. So it was kind of rushed out the door because we have the Capcom license, make game now. Hence why there's a lot of Shotos in this game. I will say it's a bit pricey for $20, but that's probably the Capcom tax kicking in. But yeah, stellar port. More than the game deserves, you get the idea.
Actually, before we continue on the people answering the question, tell them one of the worst gameplay mechanics that this game had to offer.
To tell
What-
you about the quality of this game, two things. Never
Yes.
ever fire a high tiger shot as Sagat in an opponent's face, or you will pay the consequences, because it goes right past them. This goes for the super version as well. And more importantly, because it's one of those games, if you whiff a throw, it costs you meter.
That's really. I had to let that sink in because I just thought my brain like got Thanos snapped. Wait, what? You lose meter from trying to throw?
From whiffing a throw. Throws
Yeah,
are pretty much
whiffing.
useless in that game, cemented by the risks that it costs you meter, and meter's important in that game because maximum meter exists, and you can special cancel to your heart's content, which is where the majority of cool-ass combo videos for this game are implementing.
So if you fail to grab someone, your meter goes bye-bye.
Yep.
That's really stupid.
And it's just normal throws, command grabs or whatever. They do not apply to this, but it's just why.
Well, I heard when you were playing this and we were doing this EVO thing, you were saying that they kind of threw this game together like very, very quickly due to some quota.
Yeah. Because the deal with Capcom and SNK to make games was still in tow, because Capcom made a few games, SNK still had one more game to make until their deal was done.
And this was the last game.
This was the end result, and oh boy. Remember when I said about 2 or 3 questions ago, sometimes dead is better?
Yeah.
This applies to SVC Chaos.
Oof.
Well, you can't kill it now.
No, that'll be the online in about a month.
Yeah, when the MVC collection comes out.
That's
Allegedly. I'd say even before then, SNK games don't really have a long shelf life when it comes to online Fatal Fury. I'm praying for you, buddy. I'm praying for your success and longevity.
Yeah, hopefully.
Oh shit! You know, speaking of, before we get off the SNK question, does anyone else have anything to say about SVC Chaos coming back?
Yes.
Go
Yes, I do.
No,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
don't got anything to say, so you can skip me.
All right.
And here's the answer. And here's the answer people are probably not going to expect, but get ready to listen to your ears. Get ready to listen very close. You know how Rad said it's a good and decent rollback netcode for this game? I could not agree more. And especially from Cold Mystics. Why, you may ask? Well, let me ask you this. Who did KOF 13 Global Match? Let me ask you that. Was it Cold Mystics? No. We got robbed out of KOF 13 Global Match to what Cold Mystics could have done. But no. It was not even Cold Mystics' fault. It was SNK's fault for deciding, hey, you know what? Let's not go with Cold Mystics with KOF 13 Global Match. That game got more robbed than SVC Chaos in its dead corpse.
While we're on the Code Mystics praise train, shoutouts to including a feature where you can fast forward through an online match up to the point where the match is happening live. That shit was in KOF 98 Ultimate Match, and it worked out really well for lobbies. That way,
feature needs to
everyone can be on the same page for reacting to moves or big plays happening.
Oh, I agree. That was also nice feature. They need to add that in the main games as well, for like Street Fighter, Tekken, so people will catch up. But yeah, I have a guilty pleasure with this game, even with the whole whiffing throws, losing meter, and Sagat's, you know, his tiger shots. When you're too close to him, he misses. I have stupid fun with this game, especially with the boss characters. Except of course, Athena It's always Athena that has to ruin things. That's why anytime I open like a lobby in the game, I could customize like which boss characters to add. I make sure to cross and
Point number 2, shoutouts to Code Mystics for when you're setting up a lobby, you can choose what characters are banned, and this applies to people on the normal ass roster. So if there's a specific character you don't want to fight, it's your lobby, it's your rules.
Oh man.
They would never get away with that in modern fighting games today. That's for damn sure.
Man.
If I boot up Tekken and I never have to fight a single law again in my lobby, I would be in heaven.
You would do it.
He would do it. He'd be like,
That's
no more
too
Dragon
much
Tail.
power.
No more Dragon Tail, please.
It's like I understand why, because there are bosses in this game that are overpowered to fuck. Zero and Geese, hello.
Oh.
So
hey, at least
I'm glad that is a standard feature.
Oh, hey, at least you can fight and beat Geese. I can't do that with Athena unless you choose the same character.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you can't hit her when she does her regular special move.
She's practically invincible during each special.
That's so stupid.
Bird, which is a low and then an overhead, and that character's dumb. That's why she's a final boss. She's dumber than fucking Firebrand. Firebrand's normal compared to her. And that dude can put 3 assists on the screen simultaneously. This game is
I like it's stupid fun, but I would put the lobby and put those 2 characters banned. That's it.
You can quote me. I'll go as far as to say SVC Chaos makes Justice League Task Force Genesis look like Injustice Gods Among Us.
Wait a minute.
God.
Come on now, don't do that.
Don't do that. Oh man, wait. So
Would you say it's worse than the Power Rangers Genesis fighting game?
The Power Rangers Genesis fighting game's problem is that it's too basic, but it works. It functions. Everything does what you want it to do. It could have been more. And plus, we're getting most Power Rangers discussion later.
Okay.
Well, there's one last thing before we get off the SNK bandwagon, and that is the fact they did reveal these 2 games, so I might as well put them here so they aren't overshadowed. But they said they're working on a new Art of Fighting and a new Sam Show action RPG.
Yes.
I'm wondering the opinions on this, and I want Rad to go first.
A new Art of Fighting. It kind of feels redundant because Art of Fighting's roster is overall lower than, say, Fatal Fury or a Samurai Showdown. Unless you're pulling people in from AOF 3, which is no doubt going to be Kasumi Toto because she's too popular. She's already in a KOF. And then there's the chicanery with Art of Fighting's meter, where it doesn't work like a traditional fighting game meter. That meter lowers as you use special moves, and you have to power that meter back up. So, and SNK hasn't been one to stray from the fighting game mechanics of their original franchise. So if Art of Fighting sticks, ooh, that is going to be a breath of fresh air. Samurai Showdown getting an action RPG, I'm honestly excited for that one. It's way outside of SNK's wheelhouse, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they pull it off, how many non-Haomaru characters you're going to be able to play as, and what the story is going to be, where it's set, how many OCs you're going to involve. I think the possibilities for that game are endless, but it's a game that is clearly very, very far down the line if you're just announcing it and not, say, putting up some like concept art, for example. This has less of a we're announcing this and more of a we're thinking about it.
It's a PS6 title.
Let's just say we got a few ideas up our sleeve.
Yeah. In terms of playable characters for it, I think Haomaru and Nakaru are definitely two. I think they're gonna definitely be the big two ones if they're doing an action RPG. Maybe Galford and maybe possibly Genjiro. Also, but I think Genjiro is just be more of a boss. So if they're doing an action RPG, I can imagine they probably won't have like a lot. Have a fair amount of playable characters, maybe a 4 to 5. I do hope it's more like a traditional action game, not like a game like Sekiro. Like, just make a legit action game, you know, like what's it, like Rise of the Ronin, for example. Rise of the Ronin, there you go. But without the Souls elements, yeah.
I want more of a Devil May Cry action, beat up several unsuspecting mooks kind of game. I don't want Samurai Souls personally.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't think we're gonna have either.
I don't think SNK has the prestige to work on something that is so delicate.
I don't think it's gonna be either or, because for all we know, it could be different type of action RPGs. They'll probably take inspired of. Maybe if they want to do like a DMC like, they will look at DMC like games. Let's say what like the Grand Blue, for example. Maybe they could do something similar to that. Like,
Yeah.
Grand Blue would be that.
I would be cool with that.
I'll just ask, since it's not on the docket, does anyone care about the characters announced for Grand Blue Rising, the season 2, and all of that?
Other than the last character they revealed, which I know who the last character is. No.
Yeah.
I do not care about the others.
Not really.
Right. Play Grand Blue. It's a good game.
Yeah, I want to definitely pick it up because, I mean, when I saw Drill, I mean, this man was gooning over 2B, but still, I saw her in the game and I was like, well, I want to beat her up. I'm eventually going to get it. When I get to that road, it'll be a new anime fighter. So, but I'm probably going to get it after Sparking Zero comes out because that's got to be first. As for the question itself, the excitement for a new Sam show that's an action RPG. It's like everyone's been saying, really, it's a project that's probably not coming until way down the line. It's like concept phase, but if it happens, I think it'd be an interesting idea because I have played like some of the older Sam show games, and I think that sort of element of, you know, having the samurais fight each other all over the place and striking people with critical blows, that could lend to some very fun action RPG gameplay if done right. I do want it to be like a character action game if they can make it like that, where it's like balls to the wall crazy, just give me something cohesive and fun that'll activate my neurons for action, as opposed to the other stuff where we say, you know, are they gonna make it Souls or any other copy paste genre today? I just think they should stick to something super crazy in terms of their wheelhouse, because that's what SNK is kind of known for, you know, being a little bit fast paced out there, you know, having refined mechanics. I hope they bring that to the action RPG element of the world. But as for Art of Fighting, I don't have much to say because I only played like one Art of Fighting game, and mostly Rad is correct on his answer where it's like they have a very small scale roster, so what is the point of doing a new one unless they're gonna overstuff it with characters and make a dream match? I don't see the relevance for this game whatsoever. I think if they're doing maybe one or the other, it could work, but outside of that, if they stick to a small scale roster, I don't see the point of this game. I guess I'll keep eyes on it, and if it comes across with news and information that's interesting, I'll put it on the Bust the Wolf podcast. But that's my answer for that. Does anyone else want to chime in? Nikki, you have any opinions on this?
Sorry, my mic went out for a second.
No, you're good.
An action RPG does sound pretty interesting. That's really all I can say. Yeah, I guess we'll see again. We'll see what happens. Looking forward to something new.
My one worry about SNK producing Art of Fighting is that SNK is going to trap themselves in their own oversaturation. You have a new King of Fighters, you have a new Samurai Showdown, you have a new Fatal Fury, and you throw Art of Fighting on top of that. One of these franchises ain't surviving.
Yeah, and
Artifying about to be one of them. I'm sorry.
Samurai Showdown's already dead. You got rollback, but you got no crossplay. Nobody plays that game anymore.
so they just decided, hey, you know, fuck it, we'll go single player. let's just do that. We'll throw that idea out there real quick. Oh man.
I'll say this
Please find some way to put Iroha in this character action game. She would be too nuts in a game like that.
I will say this though. At least they thinking of an action RPG is a better idea than Bamco with Bleach, this new fighting game that's coming in.
Please God. Please God.
Can we talk about that for a second? Deviation.
Sure.
Go ahead.
I will say the one thing I've noticed is that this game isn't round based.
Wait, there's
your points are affected by how strong your finishing blow is. I saw Ichigo defeat Byakuya, and your Reishi bar went down by like 2 points, and 3 points, and 4 points, depending on like if you kill him with your Bankai in play. So this game is going to be absolute kusoge, and my wallet is anticipating it.
interesting.
It's not by rounds? What the fuck?
I have no faith in this game being anything other than a trash fire. So please, Bamco, I'm daring you to prove me wrong.
Oh my God.
You know what?
Now you're making me not want to even pre-order it because I was gonna get it to try out one character, but fuck that.
Go back and look at that video when Byakuya beats down Ichigo, and it doesn't. You don't lose as much, whatever that number is, when Ichigo goes full Bankai and beats down Byakuya. Go watch it again.
Oh my God! I can't believe even Naruto fighting games got this right. Oh my God!
Man,
it's not gonna have rollback. The Bleach fighting game won't have rollback.
it's not gonna have crossplay.
Oh, come on, man. What are they doing?
It's gonna die in a week. It's gonna
unfortunately,
for like 2 weeks.
Unfortunately, those two elements will be the least of its problem. If the base game is not based on rounds, it's gonna die.
That's, again, you will have a match that is a never-ending slog, so it's almost just like, what is the point of this? I was not on board with this the first time that I saw the new Bleach fighting game. I was just like, okay, another arena fighting game. It's just like the same
even
thing.
Worse.
But it was the process of when this debuted at Anime Expo. It's like, holy fuck, the first console Bleach game in over a decade, and it's a retelling of the original story. This is Bleach DBZ Kakarot edition. I'm so on board, and then it's another godforsaken fighting game.
Oh.
If granted, the round system is whatever. If you let your opponent reach the point where they can achieve Bankai, you have no one to blame but yourself.
Oh.
I'm thinking to myself, just like, when are they gonna crack the code, just like SNK, where it's like, Bleach action RPG, I swear to God, I will throw money at you. Look,
it will never happen now.
Kubo, I will throw fucking money at you. You'll get like $70 and 2 hookers. I need a game like this now instead of just them rehashing the same idea. Oh my God.
Bleach. I would have took a remake of Heat the Soul's PSP game over this. At least that game has rounds.
It has decent fighting mechanics too.
It does.
And you could juggle monsters all over the place. You fight a giant ass Yami and all of that. Oh man, Heat the Soul gets barely any love just because it's a PSP fighter.
Yeah.
Man, I love the last one they released for it.
Yeah, just stick a random ass Heat the Soul game, probably the latest one. Stick it on the console. Just add online. Watch it print money.
Yes.
Especially since Bleach is still pertinent with the 1,000-Year Blood War anime still going on.
Yeah, and the next one is coming out like relatively soon.
I'm pumped.
I'm super excited for that. But Nikki, do you have any sort of opinions on this?
No, I think I already. Was this a new question or the same one?
It's the interjection with Rat and him talking about Bleach. Do you have any opinions on that? Okay.
I'm like half awake right now.
No, it's fine. I just believe that Bleach games are wasted potential if they don't do certain genres and hybrids, so they kind of just fucked up there. I'm not looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a dumpster fire, honestly, just like Rad said, especially if you are fighting to blows to get the dude dead and there is no rounds in between this. I'm not confident in it at all.
Actually, I lied. I do have one opinion.
Go ahead.
When are we gonna get a new Sailor Moon fighter?
Oh,
That's
Lord.
what I want. I want it to be done by Arc Systems, and
I got a game for you. Let me travel back to the 1990s with you when Arxis was called Angel Studios.
Oh boy.
What the fuck? They made a Sailor Moon fighting game?
The Super
On the
Famicom.
SNES, yes.
Yeah,
Yep,
Sailor
they
Moon
did.
S. It is the most broken game.
And a sequel, which no one really talks about as much as the original because it's not as Kuzuke.
Wow, when this podcast is over, I promise I'll look at gameplay and see how good or bad this is.
Welcome to a fighting game where certain fireballs do more damage on block.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, Sailor Moon S is like one of the most broken fighting games. Like it's a meme at this point. How broken it is.
You want to?
Sailor Uranus does a forward dash, and she's suddenly full screen. She's suddenly across the screen in an instant.
Hey, Ren, you want to do the easiest infinites? That game got you covered.
Oh, that'll be it. It'd be GG's if we do a tournament. Rest assured. But we have to move on to the next big question, which is the one that Rat gave me. So he says, fighting games having guest characters is now the norm. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? And Andre, I want you to go first.
Oh, this one?
Yep.
Gotcha. So I was actually talking about this on stream with a friend of mine. They were streaming a game, and I think it's kind of a mixed bag because on one hand it's kind of neat. On the other hand, it really I think nowadays it just feels a lot really overdone with like Mortal Kombat, because Mortal Kombat I feel is just really infamous as like 9, 10, 11, and 1. All those games with like guest fighting game characters. And now, Graham, I think Soul Calibur kind of predated it with like Soul Calibur 2 and 4 with like guest characters, but I don't really feel like it started to like really get prevalent until stuff like, you know, Tekken 7 came out with Geese, which I think was awesome, and Soul Calibur 6 with Geralt, 2 being Hamaru. But besides that, I think it just depends on the game, really. Like Terry and Might in Street Fighter 6 is perfect. I think that's an example of guest characters done well, and also Rash from the Battletoads and KI. That's also great.
Well, they own Rare, so that made sense why they would put someone like him in the game.
Yeah. And 2B and Granblue and Soul Calibur wasn't a bad pick either. I think that kind of worked, but I think it just really depends on the game. But I do think it is a bit overdone and sort of like, you know, I mean, you'll have like Negan and Tekken 7, which really makes no sense. But hey, I mean, whatever makes money, or I'll even knock this, but I don't know. I think it just depends on the game that does it. So that's how I feel.
Nikki, what do you think of guest characters? Do you think it's a great thing, a bad thing, or do you have mixed thoughts?
A little bit of both. I think it can get a little too oversaturated, and I think it can get a little too everybody does it, that kind of thing. Like follows a trend. It's like, oh, here's another guest, here's another guest. But it can also be like super cool depending on who this guest is. Like if you could do something like completely out of the blue, like for example, putting like Lubu in Tekken or something, or like putting Sailor Mars in Street Fighter. It doesn't make any sense, but it would still be pretty cool. Whereas if you're doing something generic like, or something silly like, as we mentioned, Conan in Mortal Kombat, it's like, oh, come on. Really depends. I want to say that I think Soul Calibur was the first to actually start implementing the whole guest character kind of thing. And I thought that was really cool how they did it. And then when Mortal Kombat 9 added Kratos, that was pretty cool. Et cetera, et cetera. So, I don't know. Ultimately, I do think it's a good thing. You know, maybe if, say, you're not all that familiar with like King of Fighters, for example, but they end up putting like Terry into Tekken or so, but you know who Terry is because you probably played Smash, or you're familiar with his design, and then they put him in Tekken, and you're a Tekken player. It's like, oh, that's awesome. It really depends. I do ultimately like the idea.
Now it is time to ask the man who wrote this question. Rat, what do you think of this so far?
The reason I thought of this question, so my feeling on if you want to add a guest to a fighting game, the primary question you have to ask yourself is how well will that guest integrate themselves into that particular universe? Some successful examples include Terry and Mai in Street Fighter, Baiken from Guilty Gear in Samurai Showdown, Haomaru from Samurai Showdown in Soul Calibur, 2B from Nier Automata in Grand Blue Versus. How are they going to integrate themselves? Man, I really could go for Terry versus Ryu. Man, I could really go for Haomaru versus Mitsurugi. Geese being in Tekken, I would love to see him fight Heihachi. And yeah, Akuma versus Kazuya. The big part of what gets me excited for a guest character in a game is they finally get to square off against a similar looking character. These are dream matchups. This is a core element to what makes guest characters so cool. Which is why when we're talking about why are you putting Ghostface in Mortal Kombat? Why are you putting Lucy from Cyberpunk in Guilty Gear? It makes no sense. They don't hold a candle to half the shit that Mortal Kombat characters and Guilty Gear characters are capable of. It's kind of a mismatch. What are you even doing in this universe? So, I'm mixed. It's a good thing if you can find characters where you can live out your personal dream match fantasies, but it's a bad thing if you're sticking them in because they happen to be the flavor of the month, like fucking Negan in Tekken 7. And fucking Noctis in Tekken 7.
Kaneki, what about you? It's your turn.
I think I'm agreeing with everyone so far that it's mixed. That is definitely mixed with how they do the guest characters and all that, because the only thing I would say is, as possible, as much as people don't like it when it comes to guest characters, maybe they should be back to where it's a rarity thing. Like go back to where it's rare to have guest characters, because right now the only guest characters that make sense right now in the modern fighting game land is Terry and Mai, and they had a reason why they put them in Street Fighter 6, especially because they're in a way like a family, and the creator of Street Fighter 1 also did Fatal Fury. So it not only was surprising, but the reason behind them being in Street Fighter 6, it was so nice. It was so nice and beautiful that yes, I would dare to fight anyone that that doesn't want them to be included in Street Fighter 6. That being said, though, I do not want guest characters to be more frequent as as possible. Because why the fuck is Ghostface in Mortal Kombat? I know people complained about Conan being in Mortal Kombat 1, but as much as people do not know of him, he fits compared to Ghostface. Like, why are you here, Ghostface? Explain yourself.
I have a hypothetical question in relation to guests being a good thing or a bad thing, because I have a character that proves my point positively and negatively. All right, everyone, it's EVO 2025. You're watching a trailer for the latest news in Street Fighter 6. The screen turns black, and all of a sudden you hear, "Let's go, bub." X-Claws on the screen. Wolverine is coming to Street Fighter 6.
Nah, man.
I don't think it'll happen.
Have a good relationship. Let's stick a Marvel character in Street Fighter 6.
Nah, that would have been an exception where I would fucking hate it. That would make no
That wouldn't
sense.
make sense at all, personally.
No, definitely not for me. Sorry. I'd rather have Vega
especially-
back if you're gonna do claws.
Yeah, I was gonna say Vega.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanna go on this real quick. I believe guest characters, they have a place. You know, people do get excited for some of these guest characters coming into the roster and, you know, seeing if they fit. Like Jason and MKX, that was totally fine, right? Yeah, that made perfect sense. And just workshopping that in and having your dream matches. If you want to have the Predator versus the Alien, that's what that stuff is all about. And I can see people having some fun with that and enjoying that for like a while, saying, I didn't think this would be possible, but now it is. And that's kind of the point. I didn't think I would see these characters fighting these other characters. That's the point. But there is a limitation to some of this stuff, and maybe they need to pump their brakes a little bit. I feel like most people, I see their anger for MK simply due to the fact of a lot of favorites are just not gonna get in, and their favorite didn't get in. But it does feel like at a point your favorite character in MK that you want to see that incarnation with completely new movesets and whatnot, they're getting overshadowed by more and more guest character DLC, which is true. It's 3 guest characters in this pack so far, and it's probably going to be more down the line in the future. And what people want to see is their favorite MK characters. I want to see Jade come back and all these other characters come back. Is it necessarily bad? I don't think it's bad. I think it's just becoming a trend that is overgrowing, and it could get to the point where it overgrows too far, and you'll have characters in there, like most people said, where their inclusion might not make the most sense compared to other people. But that being said, in terms of metrics, hype, scale, this is why I also am on the other side of the fence. I could never really agree with those people when they say stuff like, well, who knows of the Terminator? Who is that character? That character means nothing. I just feel like that's a lot of reactionary talk with certain people and different people of different eras not understanding and getting it. I think it caters to someone out there, and if it makes somebody happy, I think that's the most important thing. But if it makes like everyone just kind of upset and they feel like their characters are underwhelmed so far and they're not doing a great job of supporting that side of the fence, it can become a problem. So it was a long answer, but that's what I think of it.
Actually,
I feel that as an SNK fan, the fact that characters from a company can be seen in Capcom games, in Bandai Namco games, in Arc System Works games, in Koei Tecmo games, meaning that fighting game publishers are getting more friendly with one another. It's all about a personal rivalry to make the best game that you can, and there's no real bad blood anymore in this particular industry. It just, that part at least puts a smile on my face.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like just the era of, oh well, everyone now is just sort of beefing, and we gotta show each other up and everything like that. I feel like that stuff is just kind of left in the past. It was an era that was like just long past, and most people can be like, okay, well at least we can see other fighting games, like you see Street Fighter, people crossing over into Tekken. You would probably never see something like that in about 10 to 15 years ago.
And hey, you could thank to 2017 when it all started. When it all started with Geese being in Tekken.
Yeah.
And how the slowly the bad blood is like disappears slowly.
Yeah, I mean, you have Ono and Harada just on stage. You have Capcom and Namco being all cool with each other. It's a good feeling there. I don't think that should be taken away or taken for granted. But anyone else on this question? Andre, did you go yet?
On guest characters?
I think he did.
You know, guest characters.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I said my feelings on it. Like, yeah.
Actually, I have a question.
Yeah.
About this whole thing. So now that we're doing like guest characters and all that, what does that mean for the art of the crossover? Like, are we still doing crossover games now at this point, or is it just we're just adding guests to games and just forgetting about the crossover options?
I think it's easier to add a character into a game rather than make a whole new crossover game.
Yeah, that's the downside of it, because you know I'm a complainer on this podcast about Tekken X Street Fighter, how it never happened, but still it's
you want a Samurai Showdown a crossover Soul Calibur game? Just play Horomoru in 6.
Right, exactly, at that point.
Yeah, it's an idea that if you asked me this and I said something like, well, would I want it? If someone hypothetically said that, like, do you want this new game, new crossover, new series? Absolutely. But I also understand that game development is 10 times harder than it used to be, so stuff like that just doesn't happen as much. But I would like for companies to go back and experiment, because that stuff is very interesting when they get it done. And I think that could open up the possibility of stuff like, well, instead of all these guest characters, you could do something more interesting with these crossovers of certain characters going into a new game entirely. But I understand, once again, that takes a lot of element.
Speaking of, I believe, I don't know if I could be wrong on this, but I believe that it would have been done, let's say, even in the late 90s, because according to people on Twitter, there was a rare 1999 build from the like inside SNK devs, which will probably never see the light of day, but we would have had crossover already happened in the late 90s in KOF 99, because apparently Goku from Dragon Ball was in that build before the final game. I'm
really?
like, Goku in the SNK game?
That's crazy.
I'm like that, and like that couldn't be. I didn't believe it at first, but then people were more confirming that it was a thing inside like the studios back in the late 90s. I'm like, Goku could have been a character in that game before they decided to change their mind.
That reeks of like a dummy character being included in the game for the sake of testing things. Take Sonic the Fighters, for example. They took one of the Fighting Vipers characters, made her into this like furry creature, and suddenly you get Honey in Sonic the Fighters, and she was included in the re-release, but she was always meant to be like a dummy placeholder character. So someone was fucking around with the build and just made her.
Someone
I mean, at least
I see.
I mean, at least that one makes sense. They just left what was from that character and decided to make it their own OC.
I would like to see a cross somewhere between Tekken, Virtua Fighter, and DOA, especially since like Tekken 8 is essentially like DOA now. Like I understand that Ryu Hayabusa is kind of obsolete for Tekken 8 because you have Raven and you have Vincent, but like you could add like Kasumi or something, like Kasumi or Ayane or something.
I would say they would fit in Mortal Kombat, but we already had too many ninjas, so no.
You know what? No, that's a lie, because they are actually not ninjas. They're assassins. So No, actually,
I mean,
I would like Ryu
uh,
Hayabusa in Mortal Kombat. Honestly, I think he fits the bill.
but they still fight like ninjas, so I don't think no
Oh, I
one's gonna
know, of
let
course. No,
them.
no, I'm going by like
Yeah.
there. I think Johnny Cage calls Kuai Liang a ninja, and Kuai Liang gets all like all up in arms about it. He's like, I'm not a ninja, I'm an assassin.
Yes, you are.
I'm like, yes, Kuai Liang, you are.
Well, he's a
So when
very
Ryu
angry man.
Hayabusa, so like
He's a,
when
yeah.
excuse me, when Ryu Hayabusa comes in, couldn't pronounce his name right for some reason. He comes into MK, and then all the ninjas are looking at him like, oh, he's so cool. Why can't I fight like that? Like, oh well, maybe you can. No, really, Hayabusa would be awesome in MK.
Yeah.
But
I will just say, unrelated, rest in peace KOF All-Star, because it's the crossover to end all crossovers in terms of fighting games. They added Street Fighter characters, they added Tekken characters, they added Guilty Gear characters, they added Dead or Alive characters, they added Virtua Fighter characters, they added Tekken characters, they even had a goddamn Soul Calibur collab.
Nice.
Wait.
That game is going away in about 3 months, and it's a national tragedy because we're
Wait.
we're never getting that contamination again.
Wait, I could be wrong. There was another collab you missed. Remember The Rock in that game?
Yeah, WWE's in there, but that's in the out there column. I'm talking about all this fighting game pollination going on here.
Well, you never
Don't
know.
forget,
In some kind of disposable mobile game.
Well, you never know. They can make The Rock into a fighting character because
yeah.
they're now more easy to guess characters these days.
Don't forget Gintama. They put Gintama in was it KOF All-Star?
So basically, we're never gonna have another Project X Zone.
Yes.
Hell no.
Yes, basically.
I mean, how much time in this world do we have to complete a Project Cross Zone game?
It's like we'll be dead and buried. It's all right. Don't
You
worry.
should know. I beat
Yeah.
Namco Cross and I beat Cross Zone 1 and 2.
That series is a 3D exclusive forever.
They're long.
Alrighty, so we're moving on to the last question here. Interesting discussion so far. We're moving into a little bonus question because, of course, it is Buster Wolf. We talk about fighting games, but also beat 'em ups, and they announced like 2 of them recently, and that was Power Rangers Rita's Rewind and Double Dragon Revive. What do you think of these 2 particular announcements? And I'll go with Rat first.
Digital Eclipse making a Power Rangers beat 'em up in the only style that matters, fight me, in Mighty Morphin style. It's 5 players, which is just a win column right there. You're clearly fighting Goldar. You're clearly getting all the check marks out of the way. So what role does the Green Ranger play? Because sadly, his actor passed away in recent years. So I feel it would be a very fitting tribute to either have him as a boss you fight, and then you break him out of whatever spiel he's in, and then boom, he's playable.
They might do that way. It would be the one that makes sense.
Yeah, I would rather have that. Honestly, and it has to be Green Ranger. I like White Ranger. It has to be Green Ranger here. Dragon Sword for life. I'm honestly looking forward to the Power Rangers game.
You say
more than Game B, which is Double Dragon Revive, in which we got Double Dragon Gaiden recently. We're eating pretty good. This is nice. But it's in 3D, and Billy and Jimmy don't really look like Billy and Jimmy. This game reeks of low effort.
It reminds me of a certain game we played not too long ago. Urban Reigns, but with Double Dragon characters.
Oh, don't remind me.
He's reminded
I'm sorry,
of all. He's PTSD.
No, fuck you.
Yeah, Rad. I saw their designs just now, and geez, they look like generic K-pop idols.
They're both blonde. It's real easy. One of them has dark hair. The other has either blonde or brown hair if you're nasty.
Yeah.
Also, isn't Double Dragon Gaiden recently getting an update with it like having a free character or something, or is it out now?
The update's out now. It's like
Oh.
Sunny Lee, Shin, and Ronzo with the ninja. Yeah, it's
Oh, a
all out
ninja
now.
character. Yeah, so why play this game if you could play Gaiden?
Wasn't that ninja in like Double Dragon 3?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Now I remember. Yeah, I guess I'll go. I mean, I don't really hate the Double Dragon Revive thing. I know some people were roasting the graphics, and yeah, it's not the best graphics, but what matters is the gameplay, which we saw like 10 seconds of it. It could have some intrigue to it, but in terms of them making games like this and Streets of Rage Revolution, it remains to be seen. I understand though that 3D is gonna have some, it's gonna have some eyes on it that might, ogle it a little bit and say, I don't think this is gonna fit the criteria, chief, but
Yeah.
I will give it a chance and see how it is, and if it's good, it's good. If it's bad though, that's just not helping with an entire litany of terrible 3D beat 'em ups. I should not remind people of just all the terrible beat 'em ups we've gotten, and they're bringing back Fighting Force 2, and it makes me want to jump into a sewer because that game is awful.
1 and 2.
One is the only one that exists.
You make a really good point comparing it to the Streets of Rage 3D games shown off, teased at the Game Awards, where we've received the gold standard of your franchise not too long ago. What does this new game have that is going to make me stop playing it? And I feel like Double Dragon Revive has to answer that question.
Yeah. It has to be like, what is the... I feel like the next point is, when can we get more Apex like 3D beat 'em ups? Because I feel like that is an untapped
Don't say
well.
the word Apex. Don't say the word Apex. I don't want to hear about that word right now.
Well,
because of EA.
I'll say amazing. So amazing 3D beat 'em ups. It feels like the entire pool is like untapped there, and they could do so much with it that will take that off into a new sort of direction. But until we get that, I guess it remains to be seen. As for Power Rangers, I mean, Power Rangers fits the mold of a great 2D beat 'em up.
Power Rangers.
Yeah, and it's Power Rangers too. So when I heard the music, when I saw the presentation, the logo flash up, I was like, I feel like a kid in Christmas. It's really fucking amazing. I hope the gameplay just is all up to snuff. It sort of gives me that same nostalgic feeling that it did when I saw the trailer for TMNT, the new Shredder's Revenge game. I thought that was really good. I thought that was really well made, and if they do something to this vein and just add in a lot and make it cohesive, I will be playing that for the channel for sure. So I'm very excited for that. And once again, just 3D, I mean not 3D, but 2D Power Rangers beat 'em ups. You just can't go wrong with it, really.
Before we leave this behind, and this is the last I will say on this subject, Capcom, I hope you're watching these two games.
Final Fight.
In whatever Final Fight projects you have. I know you're looking at that sexy REX engine of yours when you're putting together Final Fight. Look at the Power Rangers game. Don't look at what Double Dragon's doing. That is the wrong path forward. Look at the Power Rangers game. 2D, nostalgia, colorful, musical. That's what we want. I think I speak for everyone in the Final Fight community when I say that.
Also less money, because again, if you're doing these graphical impressive showcases, then you're spending a lot of time making it look pretty, and I think they could just scale that back to like 2D and make it just as good if they do some 3D at least. I'm just saying, if it's just there's no other option, I would prefer cel shaded, but that's just me.
Actually, I just thought of something. They could do something like the Guilty Gear 2.5D graphics with Final Fight.
It's just something with hand drawn that looks really fucking good. I think Streets of Rage 4 was just like, it's just incredible with how it looks.
That was the perfect beat 'em up. Ah,
So follow that blueprint and look, I will buy the fuck out of Final Fight Remake. I wouldn't care at that point, and then put in Lucia as well. And I'll be good with that. I'll be a good boy. Nikki,
Yes, sir.
what do you think of this?
Well, I do like beat 'em ups, but I need it to be like, you know, a nice complete game. Like if it looks like Streets of Rage 4, then yeah, that's pretty cool. But if they're gonna give me like a half-ass Double Dragon, I'll just go play the I think it was NES version. Like, because I do like beat 'em ups, and I do like how this whole revival thing is, you know, is happening. And I'm completely going off a tangent. I do like how like beat 'em ups eventually evolved into Musou games almost. And I did see all the new Dynasty Warriors Origins information, and I was like rolling on the floor and all that because it looks really, really, really cool. But we'll talk about that later, or another time, not now, obviously. But yeah, it seems pretty cool. I mean, if the game is like, I don't know, $5, yeah, I'll probably pick it up. But yeah, we'll see. Could be good, could be bad.
Who else is left to go on this one that hasn't gone yet?
I can take this.
Sure.
Rhea's Weird Ryan looks really good. Really looking forward to that. Double Dragon Revive, honestly, I've seen like the trailer and I hope it's a work in progress, but it's more of something I'm gonna wait and see how it goes. I do hope they fix some things, at least add more color, but overall, I do think it looks pretty rough. Just hope the final version of it looks better. That's all I really gotta say, honestly. I think it comes out next year in 2025. So
wait, that game?
Yeah, it comes out next year.
Think so.
Um,
Okay, it comes out next year.
I don't know, man. They should have delayed it. Can't be that next year, fam.
Yep,
Yeah, maybe,
Revive
like-
is 2025.
Is it early 2025 or just 2025?
It's 2025 tentative, so they don't have a date for it.
Okay.
I hope it's like mid 2025 because we're in like what, July, so they got enough time to fix it. So hopefully,
Give
that's
it
all I gotta say.
polish. That's all I ask for. Give it polish, and you'll be fine.
Also, I do have one thing to say about for the Power Rangers beat 'em up is I hope they took notes from Shredder's Revenge, except when it comes to adding more content, they take that note from Streets of Rage 4. Because let's say if Shredder's Revenge had more content than even the they added, then I would have tone shift that in terms of everything, like the beat 'em up is better than Streets of Rage 4, but the only reason I would say Streets of Rage 4 is still like the prime example of how to do beat 'em ups is because even before the DLC, they offered much of content from story mode to replay progression to unlocking characters by playing the game nonstop. It's like they gotta take notes from both beat 'em ups and just make it like the ultimate beat 'em up people will play for years. For years to come.
Replay value. It's a thing that can't be understated.
It's high key important. Streets of Rage 4 learned that the right way.
Yo. Alrighty, I think we are done with this Buster Wolf. Very informative, very interesting, and had a lot of fun with this. So we're gonna sign off. I don't know when the next one is going to be, but if they drop some giant fighting game news, I mean, it's probably gonna be like post Tokyo Game Show, then I will be here and I will be talking to my panel about all the news they have to show. And plus, of course, they said they're gonna reveal that character Tekken World Tour, I think in December. That's definitely going to be talked about as well, because I'm wondering who the last character is. But we're gonna do sign outs at this point. Mr. Kaneki, where can we find you on social media, good sir?
You can find me on Twitter and YouTube under Rule World Order, and I'm just gonna continue playing Multiverses and MK1 since We almost forgot to mention that Samurai Jack was announced. Wink, wink.
And Beetlejuice hype. I haven't gotten around to him yet, but hype. Also, the guy asking for us to go back to Rifts and get costumes and characters and all that shit. Well, fuck you, sir. I don't feel like grinding for eternity.
They learned that lesson the hard way, and I'm glad they did. I'm not doing that shit again.
Yes, we will never go back, and I hope they do not, because that was a good thing. They actually get a W there for that good shit. But I can't wait to play as them, honestly, when I get Samurai Jack.
The battle pass is $10, and luckily, if you grind out all the tiers, you could earn back enough premium to get another battle pass for free.
Finally, WB just learns a lesson after like so many attempts. It's wild, but. Andre, where can we find you on social media, buddy?
You can find me at Andre V Venom on Twitter. I do have a YouTube channel. Don't really got too much in the pipeline. I should go back to streaming because it's been a while since I streamed the game. But yeah, that's about it. Not too much. Hopefully we can do more of these in the future. More fighting game news becomes available. Yeah.
It's just the next stint of news, so it's just gonna take a while, but as soon as we see something, or maybe I could cover another franchise, because I mean King of Fighters is in there and it's probably some more as well. But Rat, where can we find you, buddy?
You can find me on X at the RadRad and on BSky at radrad.bsky.social. And you can find my YouTube channel, RadRad's Rad Games, where I just yesterday was in a bit of a Naruto mood. So I uploaded a playthrough of the last Naruto GameCube fighting game, Super Naruto Clash of Ninja 4. So go check that out on my YouTube channel, RadRad's Rad Games.
Nikki, where can we find you?
You can find me on a high, cold, dark mountain in Finland. Perkele! No, I'm kidding. No, you can. I was speaking Finnish. Anyway, no, you can find me on Twitter at I think it was, I changed my @ it was a SYL lady, or it's Nikki SYL lady because my name was just too long to put in there. Twitch.com or twitch.tv/strappingyounglady, YouTube, youtube.com/strappingyoungladygmg. And I will try to upload or try to do a stream, like a post EVO stream, and just tell stories and just tell everyone what the weekend was like. But unfortunately, my monitor is broken, so I can't do like screen webcam or anything like that. So once I, figure that out, we'll do some more streaming from there. I'm also on TikTok, Strapping Young Lady on there, where I just post just a bunch of stupid clips and game clips and other stupid memes. And that's really about it.
Alrighty, and you can find me on YouTube at Renegade Operative. You can find me on Twitch at Renegade_Operative, and you can find me on Twitter at RentOperative_. Honestly, in terms of solo videos, I know I want to talk about the stupid I want to talk about all the MCU Marvel comic book updates, but part of my brain is just kind of like, well, should I do it now or wait until D23? So I'm contemplating on that, but whenever it's done, it's done. I could talk about Downey Jr. as Victor Von Doom, which I'm gonna do that in the future.
The pop with that is unbelievable.
Insanity reaction, but I'm gonna do that, and I'm probably gonna work on these 2 podcasts. I'm gonna do the Naruto discussion. Part 1 was done yesterday, so that's first, and then I'm gonna upload this probably sometime later in the week and watch Deadpool and Wolverine and do a review on that tomorrow, so look forward to that. But until then, I will see you guys next time. We at Buster Wolf Podcast, we're signing out, and hopefully you have a good day and enjoyed this. Later.
Quitos.